Hey folks, thanks for clicking on the video today. And before we get started, I want to thank you guys for supporting the channel by hitting that subscribe button. I had my first goal of getting 500 subscribers and we've reached that. The next goal is 1,000. So I know it's no Mr. Beast, but I appreciate your support along the way by commenting, hitting that like button if you like the video, and also the subscribe button. So let's get on with it. So today, if you remember on my last video, I installed a multi-switch wireless switch for my inside of the truck from RTG OffRoad that will control 12 and 24 volt accessories. So the first accessory that I'm going to hook up is a light bar from Rough Country. So this is probably one of my most nerve-wracking ones that I've had to do because I'm going to have to do a little bit of modification to the front bumper cover on the front of the truck for this to fit. This is a 20-inch light and it will fit perfectly inside of the front air dam. I got a single light bar slim so that it doesn't take up all the space inside of that. With my diesel engine, it needs to have as much airflow as possible through that bottom air dam. I think it's for the intercooler. It's still going to put off what kind of light I need we travel up to the mountains and things of that nature. So we're on a back road at night. It'll give me a little extra light. And also it's got the built-in DRL, daytime running light, that will make it look a little bit more pop with the LED light that I installed at one of my other videos if you look back in the history. So let's get to it. We're going to have to do a little bit of modification to the light itself. The wiring harness comes with a switch already, so I'm going to have to redo the wiring for that, take it away from the switch that's included so that I can wire it straight into the box that's under the hood for the RTG OffRoad panel. We'll try to tackle it step by step so you'll see every step of the way and how I did it. So let's open it up and see what's all included in the box itself. So like I said, it comes with the wiring harness and a switch, a three-way switch, because one to control the DRL and one to control the extra lights. It's going to be some mounting hardware. It's got some additional mounting hardware. This looks like an undermount hardware. So as you can see, the light is a 20-inch light, and it does come with a cover for it. It comes right off. I'm going to keep it to protect the light, and it's got a waterproof connector. So I've already taken the liberty to unplug it from their three-way switch. It's a rocker panel switch with an illuminated button for when it's on. And it appears that it's got one set of wires to go to the battery, the positive and the ground, and then the other set that goes to the light itself, if you remember me showing you that attachment. So the part going to the battery, I'm not gonna need, and it is taped together in a real nice wire loom. So we need to free that up and eliminate that. So I've got the ground wire is tied together, so I'm going to want to cut those off, and then I'm going to want to cut these ends off. I will note those are nice ends. They're in a weatherproof connector. If you're not using a switch like I'm going to use, these are awesome switches, so good job, Rough Country. One of my previous videos, I talked about this 12 volt, 20 volt tester. This is a great little addition for my toolbox. I got it off TikTok, but it takes a 20 volt battery and turns it into a wireless charger, USB-C, USB-A, and then a plug-in here to test your electronic devices. And I'm going to use it just to test the light and make sure it works. So I know one wire is for the DRL, the other wire is for the main light, and then the ground. And with cutting this on, it should cut the light on. And it did. So we know that the red one is obviously all the lights. And then we'll plug the white in, and that should be the DRL. And it is. You can see the clear difference between the two. So that's good. Now we're ready to wire it as we need. Okay, so now we're ready to mount the bar. I have to admit, this is probably the most nerve-wracking part, because I'm gonna have to cut these out to put the bar in, and I've just never been a big fan of. It's not that I'm not a big fan, but just nervous about cutting something. But this is part of DIY, is that you got to take that leap of faith to learn it, because here's the worst thing that can happen if I cut these and something doesn't go right with the light and I decide to take the light out. I'll have to replace these. And looking online, that's like 300 bucks. While that's very stressful, and taking this off and replacing it, it can be done. So you got to get over that leap of faith of trying something new. Now, some of the other concern I had about putting it here was because behind here is another radiator system. But here's my thought on that, is that I'm only going to be taking this bar right here out, because if you look, it's literally going to be right below this one here. So I'll cut right here and remove this bar and these tabs here. All the air will be continually to go over that light, and it'll have plenty of air, in my opinion, because this has also got the rudder system on it that shuts to keep it warmer, to block air from coming in it. And also, if you had a front license plate, that front license plate mounts right here and covers up this whole thing anyway, where you're only getting air right here. So I'm really not blocking it anymore, in my opinion, than you would be with a license plate bracket. So luckily I live in a state that doesn't require two license plates, so I have that flexibility. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tape up all of this up here and down here to protect it. Then I'll take my multi-tool and it'll buzz right through this plastic and get rid of this bottom part right here so that the light will slide in there. Okay, so now that I've got it all taped up, what I taped it up for was when I use the multi-tool, the blade goes like that, and I don't want to rub it raw, even though that there'll be something sitting on top of this, the light. So underneath here is it's completely closed in here like an air dam, but there's a lip right here you'll feel, and that's what I'm going to go with my wire. And then into here on this side is a big plastic wall, and it's hollow right here. If you go underneath, and I'll show you, you can see right to this part here. There is a rubber boot surrounding this that's on with a pop-out tab. You just pull the tab, and this boot will free flow around. It won't come all the way off because it's held on by those two bolts, and you can't get them around them. Probably go with the wire down underneath it, down the bumper. There's some zip tie areas that's good up into the control box. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is, if you can see, I'll move it out. When I cut that out, because of the indentation of that, there's a V here. I'm gonna round that out, take my multi-tool and round it out to the size of this, and imagine it kind of sitting there in a cradle, if you will, in that plastic, and turn this plastic into the mount to let that sit in it on the other side as well. Then I'll take a drill bit, and I ran to the hardware store and got their M8s that's long enough to go from here to there, and washer here that are black. So I'll drill a hole through there. The bolt will go through there. That's a void right there. And I think I may put a bushing there just to stabilize the bolt. It's that wide. And screw into that on both sides. And in essence, it'll sit just like that. So I've got it mounted. What I did is the holes that were there, I showed you about before, I drilled through that way and then through that way. So I've got it level. And what I did is I used these wood shims to make sure it's level and straight. I went and got grommets like these, little plastic grommets, but black, and lined the bolt from there to there so that when I tightened this bolt, it didn't pull in on the plastic. It left it out flat, and the same here to make it tight. It looks pretty seamless in factory. Put on the cover. See, it blends right in. So you can see the wire that comes through. Right behind here are those air dams, and there's a gap beneath there that the wire can fit through, and that's where I brought it through to keep it away from everything. I did, if you see these little screws here, there's about 12 of them. You take the screws out and the valence will come down. That way it gives me more room to get under the truck. And then I loosened the bolts here, took those out, that it actually hold that up there. So it gives me a little play to run the wire. So I've ran the cable right here along the frame, used those little 3M zip tie holders to hold it still, and then brought it up and around to the battery assembly. And on top, if you remember from my other video, is where I mounted the module. So the good thing about the RTG OffRoad module is that it has on the top a label for your 30 amp, 20 amp, 15 amp, 10 amp, and then negative, positive. And then they coincide with all the screws that are here for them. So you'll unscrew those, put the wire in, and then screw them back up, and then it winds it up tight to the module. So always remember negative, positive, negative, positive, negative, positive. I took a black marker because the negative is always black, right? So black mark, black mark, black mark. So it'll remind me which goes where. Put here on the 30 amp because the main light was already came with a switch, and the fuse inside the switch was a 30 amp. So I'm using the 30 amp one, the second one here. And then for the other one is the DRL. It's a really, really lightweight wire. So I'm going to use the 10 amp for it. And then I jump the ground from this ground to this wire, the ground coming from the light, so that both DRL and the main light will have a grounding mechanism tied to it. And then I tightened it all down, and I put my wire loom around the wire so it's all nice and neat. Zip tied it to my other harnesses here to make sure it doesn't get any way of anything when you shut the hood. And if you notice, I have light in here. This is from my last video with putting in a hood light, because I don't know why they don't put hood lights in new cars anymore. I'm gonna go and put the screws back in the module, and then move around to putting the underside of the bumper back together with the valence and all of that. Some people leave those off. I prefer to leave it on, try to get as best gas mileage as possible. I'm not really going off-road in this truck, so the ground clearance isn't as crucial as it is for some other people. So I've put my 4 bolts in. There's 2 here and there's 2 down there, and tighten those up. Now I'll go and put in the valence back on. It just slides right onto these, and then there's like 10 or so other bolts that go along with it. I use these trays right here to keep all my bolts separate, and so that I don't get them all mixed up together. So as you can see, I already have that LED light across the top, but let's see what it looks like with the DRL. There's the DRL function, and then with the main light. And there's the main rod. Holy cow. Well, that's it, folks. Hope you enjoyed this episode of Carlisle Projects. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. If you found this video informative and helpful for your next project, please hit that like button. And also remember to hit that subscribe button so you can catch the next episode of Carlisle Projects. Well, have a great day. Thanks.